Dead silence. It can win any argument. It's frustrating and deadly in its effectiveness. If you've ever won an argument without actually using words, then you know what I mean, and you're likely an INFJ. You've all heard of the phrase, silence is golden. Well, INFJs take that to a whole different level. It's all about
inner peace.
Just like Shifu in Kung Fu Panda, who mastered the art of silence and meditation. That's exactly how an INFJ uses silence. They weaponize it. In fact, an INFJ has mastered the art of silence to get what they want, to express their views, to assert themselves, to intimidate, and even get others to be more self-revealing. Silence in an INFJ is more than just being docile or keeping quiet. It's about the art of expression. And how? Well, the art of silence can be an extreme one, and here's how an INFJ has perfected it. Silence for an INFJ is creativity in process. When it concerns an INFJ, there is no real silence.
I will bend time to my own clock.
Their world is never turned off like everybody else, where silence means a shutdown of everything. When an INFJ is silent, their mental mechanism is still working. Silence for an INFJ is like a well of thoughts they immerse themselves into because it is integral to their success. From this well of silence, they draw insights and generate ideas that will prove helpful in whatever it is they do.
I said, empty your mind.
For this reason, an INFJ has perfected the power of silence, using it as a tool for reflection and creativity. INFJs work best alone in a quiet environment, and that's when they tend to be most productive.
The silence drowns out the noise, and I can feel.
This is why silence becomes an asset to their lives because there are no distractions. Working in silence helps them accomplish the most work and fulfill deadlines, guaranteed to succeed. An INFJ can intimidate with silence. A picture may be worth 1,000 words, but the same goes for silence. And INFJs know they can intimidate you without even uttering a syllable. There is a great force behind that silence. It pierces people just as harshly as words can, if not more. Silence is a secret weapon, and if you listen closely to the end, it can become the ultimate resource for you as well. Like, imagine someone speaking to you in a very harsh tone, even verbally abusing you. What would happen if you are silent? Well, their own words will backfire. Your silence will infuriate them, and they'll just have to shut up. They use silence as revenge. Mess around with an INFJ, and you can either get their famous door slam or a silence treatment. You can argue all you want, and you can try to explain yourself, but it just doesn't matter to an INFJ anymore. You already screwed things up, so you better prepare for the silent revenge. Sounds ominous, I know, but that's because it is. You will feel like they're telling you to
talk to the hand.
You won't get a word out of them, and their silence will make you feel like you're speaking to a wall. Regardless of how much you want them to speak, they just won't squeak. Even if you gang up against an INFJ, they will still refuse to react as you hope they should. It's frustrating, right? Well, that's the silent revenge for you. The use of silence as a control mechanism. INFJs have also learned to use silence to control how someone speaks, like journalists do. They cleverly use this same method when interviewing someone. Have you noticed how a journalist will sometimes pause when asking questions?
Guess where I'm from?
The silence may just get the person being interviewed to reveal something they never thought they would. Basically, they will do whatever it takes to break that uncomfortable silence. Well, uncomfortable for them at least. INFJs, on the other hand, thrive in that silence. Silence helps them concentrate. The world is full of distractions, and focusing on things that matter can be extremely hard. Not for INFJs, though, because they have silence on their side. Silence makes them immune to stress around them or anything that may be detrimental to their well-being. Their silence and calmness help them stay in control of their emotions, their reactions, their body language, everything. Silence is a learning process.
Knowledge is power.
And INFJs know it. They are more silent than other humans. That's why they can take in more information. They know a lot about other people, their tendencies, their patterns of behavior, and all because they prefer to listen rather than speak. INFJs are 100% committed to understanding behavior. They'll listen and lean in and dissect and listen, and they'll do it until they know everything about you. And if it sounds like they are scheming or manipulative, they are anything but. INFJs are genuinely curious all the time. Curiosity drives them to find out every little detail. Curious George the monkey was an INFJ. Probably. They give attention through silence. INFJs command the attention of others. They do this by giving them space through silence. Silence is all about listening. That's why INFJs are calmer with the sound of silence. And as you've probably figured out by now, INFJs excel at listening. People will also seek out an INFJ to vent out their problems too, because they know they will get a compassionate ear. INFJs also achieve respect through their silence. Let's say you're in a staff meeting, and you have the people who didn't listen at all, and in the end they ask questions that are just plain stupid. And then you have someone else who carefully listens to everything and asks all the right questions. Which one do you think commands more respect? The answer practically writes itself. INFJs won't ask questions just for the sake of it. They would rather stay silent and wait for the perfect moment to ask a question. They'll do so only after they've carefully considered everything that has been said. They don't speak too soon. They speak when it matters most, and you can't help but respect them more because of it. They use silence to practice patience. INFJs are not bothered by silence. Far from it. Instead, they learned to embrace it. That's why they are more tolerant to everything that's going on around them. Learn to embrace silence, and it will help you be more patient in daily hassles. We're talking long lines, traffic jams, even illogical arguments. We all know how tough those can be. They just make you want to jump out of your skin. Now imagine the world where you are able to just be peaceful in such situations. It sounds impossible, I know, but that's a reality for people that have perfected the art of silence.
You know what really grinds my gears? Traffic.
Practice patience, and that long traffic that grinds your gears will seem like minutes instead of hours. Patience can also help you assess other people, why they behave the way they do, why they speak the way they do. Don't argue. Try to silently analyze them instead. That will help you adopt a more suitable approach that could even diffuse an aggressive situation. Silence helps them connect with their inner spirituality. Silence isn't only about keeping your mouth shut, it's more like meditation, which helps you connect with your inner self. Once you master it, you will be able to withdraw from society. INFJs crave solitude, and silence helps them achieve it. Daily hustle and bustle can rattle them up at times, and they need some time out. Silence can also make healing and recovering from trauma a whole lot easier. INFJs know this all too well. Imagine having unresolved issues that suddenly crop up when you least expect them. Sounds horrible, but that's a reality for most people. When that happens, silence can help you address those issues. You'll understand them better, accept them even. Imagine the world where inner peace is your natural state. How great would that be? That can be a reality for you, but you have to utilize the power of silence first, like a true INFJ.